but I think, like as she said, people wish to have a sibling. So my sister, she wished for me, but now she instantly regrets it because I annoyed her.
A few kids might not be interested in studies as much
As a sibling.
like their sibling. They might be interested in something else and another thing. As parents, you need to let them embrace that and embrace their talents.
The youngest child always gets whatever he wants. If we're playing a game, I'm about to win. My dad comes and says, let Yash win because he's the youngest child. So...
Live at Hive show. The point of this show is for us to bring up topics that we think that kids have an opinion on, okay, and create a bit of a round table discussion even though we're at a rectangular table. And today the topic that we came up with was siblings. So should I start with, how many of you are the only child in the family?
Should we raise our hands?
Yeah.
Oh, who's the oldest child? Raise your hand.
Oldest child.
There's a lot.
Hey, that's an almost clean split.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Youngest child?
Kind of, yeah, okay.
Okay. Twin?
Oh, I'm a twin, yeah.
And one of three? Which one are you? Middle child.
And
wow.
I'm the oldest
Oh,
Yours.
I didn't see you.
Of two?
of two.
Of two. Alright. Okay. Interesting. So we've got a mix here of older kids and younger kids and middle kids and twins. But do you guys, you did some research, right, Nathan, about sibling rivalry. You want to tell us all about that?
Yeah, so basically sibling rivalry is basically siblings rivalry. It's
Like not liking each other?
no, I'm trying to be better at each other at any single game. Like you nailed it. Literally kicking a rock to academic, like studies, like and that sort of stuff. Anything.
Do you guys feel sibling rivalry in your own families?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes siblings can compete for who is loved better,
Yeah.
or who is more smartest, or just that in general.
Do you feel that? Do you feel like, Jennifer, do you feel like sometimes you kind of just give up because you're like, forget it, I'm not going to even bother having this competition with you?
Yeah, it's kind of like that in my home because like the youngest child always gets whatever he wants. If we're playing a game, I'm about to win. My dad comes and says, let Yash win because he's the youngest child. So...
It's so true.
It's so mean.
Yeah?
I think despite being like with different ages, they still compete on the same thing. Like suppose the elder child, he or she is better at math, of course, because he or she is in a higher grade. But still, the younger child will try his or her best to compete against the older one.
Yeah. And do you think the older ones are forced to kind of let go of the competition sometimes?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yes. They always have a really hard
Parents
time.
will always say, "Go easy." No, in my opinion, I think that's false because me and my sister.
Your sister's older, right?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So we fight a lot, and she's the one that doesn't stop the competition. She starts it, and I'm the one that has to stop it. I'm the mature one in the house.
Oh, I see.
Because, like, example, so she hits me, I hit her back. It's a continuous thing. And I'm like, I don't want to get hurt anymore. She's like, come on, one more hit. I'm like,
So nicely and sweetly you're negotiating for like beating each other up. Do you feel it's different with twins? Do you feel that sibling rivalry is a lot more?
Every single sibling would have a sibling rivalry. It's nature. It's literally nature. But for me, I feel like it's just mentally there. Like there's like a contract mentally with us. Like you have to have a rivalry in academics. You can't start it or stop it. Just ongoing life because you guys are the same age. So it's like an ongoing thing.
Okay.
I
So,
have a question for her. So, example, it's like you and your twins went there. Who is the one that cuts the cake? Like, do you have turns or something?
oh, good one.
That's a good question.
Or do you fight?
Basically, for us nowadays we just have 2 separate days for our birthday. One of us takes 16th because I'm born on March 16th, and one of us takes 17th or 15th. So in that case, we have
2 separate parties,
Yeah.
2 separate cakes.
yes, but sometimes we would use the same cake and just cut it twice.
But do you like fight on which day you celebrate it?
Like, I want 16th, like that.
Yeah.
No, I just asked my brother, do you want 16th? He's like, sure. And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take 15th.
It's sweet and adjusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Okay, so a lot of psychologists believe that the older sibling tends to become the more responsible one, and the younger sibling ends up becoming with a little bit more spoiled.
Spoiled one. And I was the cheeky one, cheeky monkey one.
Thanks. I'm the younger sibling, by the way, Ananya. Cheeky monkey.
You are cheeky,
Thanks.
in a lovable way.
Thanks.
Monica, were you spoiled as a kid?
Oh, definitely. I think, you know what? I think what happens is, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, right? That the older sibling kind of has to fight to make the pathway. So even small things like I want permission to go for a sleepover. It's like the older sibling fights and fights and fights, and then when it becomes a regular thing, and then the younger sibling comes along and takes all the benefits of all the hard work that the older sibling has put in to make that rule happen in the house. You guys feel that way?
Yes, I
so much.
do.
So true.
So one time I wanted to go to my friend's house, but I have a younger brother. So my mom kept telling, take the brother with you, take my brother with you. And it's so annoying because I don't want to take him with me. But then my mom says he's been left out on his own. So I have to take him.
So annoying.
I would like that.
Okay, for me, like in this scenario, so I'm there on this. So my mom says, like, if my sister is going out to get something from the mini shop we have in our community, or she's going to a tavern, she's like, take your sister with you. She's like, no, I'm 15. And then she's like, you're not going if you're not taking her. And then she's like, fine, I won't go.
How do you feel about this, Jennifer? Do you feel like the older ones have to work a lot harder?
Yeah, I do. Because the parents expect you to be like more responsible and always take care of the younger one, but the younger one never has to do anything for you in return.
And is that unfair, you feel sometimes?
Yeah.
So you feel like there should be a way in which you can tell your parents like, hey, sorry, not my problem.
Yeah.
And also, like, when you do something wrong, you get shouted most. But when the youngest does something wrong, he gets like, the parents just shout at him. And nothing happens.
Yeah. What's the age difference between you and your younger sister?
It's like 7 to 8 years. So like my sister was born when I was 7. So there's like a bit too much age difference. Yeah, but we work it out. So
You think 7 or 8 is too much? Is there an age difference beyond which you're like, hey, that's just a really bad idea?
Yeah.
like I think 10. Like if the age difference is 10, it's really difficult because like suppose you're in 10th and your like sibling is in 1st. So it's difficult for the parent as well. It's like your elder child is giving the boards and your younger one is learning like
ABC. Okay. You have a slightly different story, Shania. What do you think? Do you think the older one, you're the older one, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like you have a lot of responsibility for your younger brother?
Yes, especially since he is diagnosed with autism, which makes him very different. But trust me, he is so smart. It's just some like superpower.
Yeah.
He literally learned the whole Russian alphabet by himself.
Wow.
Even though of his mental disability, he's still much more smarter, and I think he deserves more.
That's really sweet of you, Shania. That's really sweet of you. Do you find that your sibling rivalry is slightly different to everyone else's in the room though?
It's slightly different because me and my brother are 2 years apart, yet we're born on the same day, 26th of August.
What?
That's so
Was that by design? Like, did your parents try to do that?
No, I was meant to be born somewhere in the start of September, and so was he. Like, he was supposed to be expected by September 3rd.
You're kind of half twins in a way,
Yeah.
because you share a birthday, but you're not really in the same year.
My dad and my grandmother, they're born on the same day, but then the age difference.
So crazy. Yeah, but you were saying?
And he is just more like different than the other kids. Even though he goes to a normal school, I honestly feel like an only child because he doesn't like interacting with me. And whenever I try, he just hits me and then goes on with his day.
Yeah.
beats you up.
Do you find that sometimes, I think this happens in different kinds of compositions of families as well, where like one child sometimes needs a little bit more time, love and affection, and maybe like a different set of resources and a different kind of parenting than the other child? Like
Yeah.
the kind of parent, like sometimes you see your parents parenting and you're like, hey, the rules for that one is totally different from the rules that are applied to me. Then. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, because whenever he gets hurt, he gets all the comfort, and whenever I get hurt, so it's like, really, now is not the best time to put a bandage on it.
Yeah. What about you? Do you feel like it's a little bit different? Like the rivalry is a little bit different when you have 3 kids in a room?
Actually, like we all have a 7-year difference. So I'm 7 years younger than my older brother and 7 years older than my younger brother.
Wow.
So like my older brother just came back today from uni, and like we don't fight that often, but the younger brother always wants much more attention.
Yeah, the youngest you mean? Yeah. Okay, interesting. So I have a question for you all, okay? If there were parents or like planning to be parents watching this right now, and they are asking themselves like, should we have 1 child? Should we have 2 kids? Should we have 3 kids? What would your advice to them be? And like what things should they think about before they decide to have a second one or first one or a third one? Okay, go for it, Shamika.
So what I think, first they have to check with their partner.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, check.
But honestly,
Great point.
I first think that they should get 2 children because, in my opinion, because if you're an only child, you feel more lonely and you don't have much people to play with. But if you have 2 siblings, there will be rivalry, but you guys will eventually get along. Like if one goes to college, you'll get sad and all.
Right, okay. Ananya, something to say?
So like she said, like there's rivalry but love as well. So yeah, of course, each sibling they do fight, but it's part of their sibling world. There's also fight but love as well. And the part where she said like if you already have one and you're planning to do a second one, so then I think like it depends on the first one. If the first one wants to be like it's happy with that lonely life, then yeah, sure.
Lonely life.
Like lonely life.
Yeah. So then, but like in my case, like I really wanted a sister because like all my friends are having siblings, and like why don't we? I want a sister to play with, and
It's a bit like FOMO, like everyone else has a PlayStation, mom.
For me, I think it's better because like literally it's been proven that if you have a sister, you're more happier. Like
Really?
if you have a brother, yeah.
I have a sister. I don't even know if she'll watch it
A
until
younger
this
sister.
point.
Younger sister.
A younger sister.
Yeah.
Nathan had something to say before we move on to Shamika's point. Yeah.
It's so I agree with it's better to have 2 children because number one, it's like the first child won't be lonely. It's the closer together they're born, it's better. And also if they're the same gender, that's also good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And also like it's you can. If one child is older than the other, you can save some money by doing sort of hand-me-downs.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Be cheap.
so I think I don't think getting 1 child would be that good because obviously they will be lonely. 2 children would be good because then they would still have each other anytime.
Yeah,
But
even when they get
because
older
of-
too, right?
Yeah,
Like-
because of 3. But if you get 3 children, I feel like the middle one would get compared a little. Like,
Thoughts?
Me in the middle.
Do you think you can compare to the older one and the younger one?
Not really. So like when the younger one starts a fight, you could say that me and the older one both get blamed, even though the blame is on the younger one. Because like the younger one depends on us and he wants all the attention. So let's say he loses something, we have to help him. If he starts a fight, we have to get out of it ourselves.
Okay.
okay, so what I think, like as she said, people wish to have a sibling. So my sister, she wished for me, but now she instantly regrets it because I annoyed her. But I think that she's regretting it because she's like in year 10 now. She has exams, pre-mocks, boards.
So she's getting stressed because I'm always with her, I'm always annoying her. So I know that she doesn't regret it, but she acts like she does. She doesn't show emotion.
But that's
and
so
the
nice.
question for Shania,
Yeah.
is like, it feels kind of weird to have a boy and girl, so like in one house. So like, do you guys share a room or do you guys have separate rooms?
We share a room.
So do you guys like half paint it, like your side, your side?
No, we are in a bunk bed. I'm on top and he's on the bottom because my parents don't trust him on the top if he falls. Actually, I've gotten hurt on top because one time I fell off my bunk bed and broke my arm.
Were you trying to go Spider-Man?
No, I always thought the top or the bunk bed is a far more exciting place to sleep than the bottom.
She was bitten by a radioactive spider, but it was actually, she thought she was bitten by a radioactive spider, but it was actually a
I don't
regular
know how
one.
I fell off that bunk bed. I was
Sure.
asleep and I was like kind of in that sleepwalking mode. And I fell off my bunk bed.
Oh my god, that sounds terribly, terribly
Maybe you
painful.
were dreaming you were
That
Spider-Man.
same happened to me when I was small. So my sister used to sleep on the top, I used to sleep on the bottom.
Wait, I've got a question about this. Okay, so a lot of parents who are like in between their first child and question mark second child are thinking to themselves, look, it costs a lot. Okay, it's a lot of resources to have a child. If I can give one child twice the amount of resources, which means their college fund is bigger, they get more space to play, they get more of our time and attention, I'd probably be doing that child a service rather than now taking the same pool of resources and dividing it into two. I want to hear what Jennifer has to say about that.
I think that like previously they should only keep like one child so like child can have more resources and a bigger fund and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't think there's value in having two kids?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
I think having 2 kids would be better because the only child, even though they get more resources and attention, like if the parents have like a meeting or they have somewhere to be but they can't take the kid, then it would, and like if they have a nanny too, like what if the nanny doesn't want to play at that time, then the kid would feel really lonely and it would be really nice to have a sibling with them to play whenever they like.
Fair enough.
One thing, so I'm really spoiled. So
I'm glad you realized it.
So when my sister, when she was like small, you know how they get like cribs and have the special things for babies? My sister never got that. She just slept on my mom's bed. But when I was small, I had a huge crib, had a huge nursery, something like that.
Yeah, but that happens, right? Because
But
I think
then-
also the way parents earn, usually when you're having your first kid, you're still in one place in your job, and then years later you've gotten
Yeah,
a
but
raise,
it's-
you've gotten a promotion, your business
You
is
just
doing
started
better.
your life, so that you're moving on. Like,
Yeah,
and
you're
then
doing
like,
better,
yeah.
you
But
know.
then now,
And your eldest sibling's like, hey, it's not the concept of my
but,
story.
but now for me,
Yeah.
it's opposite. I'm like connected with my parents. I sleep with them, do everything with them. My sister's trapped in her room.
That's
Like
a
we can
teenager.
lock her in her room forever. She'd be happy.
Those are just teenage creatures. Okay, so to wrap up this show, because we've got our last 5 minutes now, I want each of you all to think up of one piece of parenting advice you would give your parents and all the parents who are watching this about raising siblings. Okay, so parenting advice, stuff that they should keep in mind that maybe their kids have not actually told them about. Shall we start with you and then go around the table so everyone gets a turn?
So I think you should stick to 2 children because and not have a very big age gap because if you have a very big age gap it get difficult. And then your youngest will feel like an only child.
Yeah.
So for me we try to keep at least 1 or 3 years difference between both of your children.
I have an additional question for you, Shania. If we have parents who are watching this where one child has special needs and the other one is neurotypical, do you have any advice for parents on how to like manage that situation at home?
For me, my parents, they have a lot of attention for my brother because he's always on his tippy toes like a ballerina, and that's one of his syndromes.
Yeah.
So they try everything like therapies. So they're mostly spending their time with him more than me.
Yeah, which could make you a far more self-reliant adult, I imagine, in the future. You already feel that way, like you're more self-reliant and more independent than kids your age?
I'm not more independent. I'm more reliable on my mom.
Okay. Alright, parenting advice. Parenting 101.
Like she said, like you could have like two kids, because with one kid, the one kid would feel very lonely, and if he doesn't have many friends, then he could be like bored all the time.
Okay, so let's establish the fact that okay, they've decided now to have two kids, but how do they manage it? What's a piece of advice you would give them on how to manage the family dynamic?
So like as you said, if they're like one person needs like special needs, then you can give them more, but also in a way that it's fair and they equally get what they want.
Yes.
So everybody gets like
Yes.
basically
like
what they want off the
treating them
table.
equal.
Treating them as equals.
So none of them gets left out.
Okay? Parenting advice.
I think don't pressure yourself, because like if you're having your first child, right, you've learned like okay, they need this, they might need this and all, and like you know the best diapers you need, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not a
Yeah.
parent, but then in the second child you're more well aware, you know what to do and stuff, and then you can know like if you already have that mindset, I guess, then you can just like plan out how you're gonna spend your time with the first child and the second child, and then
So-
how you're gonna manage food and work and sleep, I guess.
Okay, so what I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say here. What you're saying is that you actually get better at this.
Yes, you get
Yeah,
better
with
over
every
time.
child you get better at doing this because you've just learned more.
Yeah.
Like everything, diapers, food,
Yeah.
etc. A parenting advice to parents who are watching.
If you have two kids, just and if they start fighting, just whatever happens, don't pick sides.
Don't pick sides. Parents, don't pick sides.
Because if you pick the younger sibling, the older sibling will feel like they're more loved. The younger sibling, but if you pick the older sibling, the younger sibling will feel jealous, and so will the older sibling. So don't pick sides, because that.
Just tell them to figure it out. How do you solve a
Yeah,
conflict?
just let them both work it out together. Like they'll fight and
Hug
be
it
mad
out.
at each other for a long, no, not hug it out, but
I'm not arguing.
but both of them would fight for a long time, in my opinion. But then soon they'll get tired of fighting, and then once they get bored, maybe they'll just try to make up with each other.
Excellent advice, Mehrian, which is don't take sides. Let them, give them the tools to figure it out on their own, whatever those tools might be.
Help them as well when they grow up.
Yeah, negotiating tools. How to resolve a conflict. 101. Okay.
So, what I think they should do, they should not overdo it. And they should not pressure their kids to studies, because that has happened to me and my sister. So since my sister is in year 10, she's been stressing out a lot, and my dad is pressuring her to study on and on. Even when we were traveling, she carried her notebooks with her so she can study on the plane, in the hotel, everything.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she starts crying even because she gets so stressed.
So do you feel that when she gets stressed, you get stressed too?
No, this is true for me. Like this happens all the time. Whenever my sister cries, I'll cry.
Aww.
That's like I cry for my sister when she cries because I don't like seeing her cry. And one story that happened to me when I was really small. So I never used to listen. So my dad, he was recording my sister doing a cartwheel. And I'm nicely with my Hello Kitty cup walking in the room, even though my dad said no coming. I'm walking. She's doing the cartwheel. Her legs hit my head.
Oh
I
man.
start crying and then she stops laughing. So it's the complete opposite for us. I cry when she's crying, when I cry, she's laughing.
So Shivika's advice to parents is, to round that up, is do not pressurize your children with studies, and also sometimes maybe your kids are differently like talented, right? Maybe one's a math whiz and one is a literature
My sister
whiz.
is a baker.
She's a baker.
She makes.
I am yet to see your cookies.
red
Miss Shivika.
velvet cupcakes.
Okay, don't make me hungry now. Nathan.
I'll take her to make a few things.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a side order. Yeah.
So,
Advice for parents.
my advice is to sort of be calm, because most of the time, like, sure, like your children, they break a vase, they might break a phone, all that sort of bad stuff. If you shout at them, they're just gonna feel more and more scared of you, and that's not a good thing.
And you get more shouty when you have two kids than when you have one
Yeah.
kid, because there's more things breaking. So try and keep calm. Yeah. And if you have 3 kids, do they get like super shouty?
Uh,
Shouty times 3.
no, the blame goes on to one person, no matter who it is.
You.
Not always.
Not always. Not always.
Jennifer, advice to
Time.
parents.
Not always.
I think that Shumika said, I think that like you have to like not give your kids too much pressure on studies, and also like because a few kids might not be interested in studies as much like
As a sibling.
like like their sibling. They might be interested in something else and another thing. So as parents, you need to let them embrace that and embrace their talents.
Yeah, and sort of recognize that too, right? And recognize that sometimes your kids are speaking 2 different languages. And so you got to kind of listen for that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, great advice.
I think my advice to parents is that remember always that your kids are not always similar. Each sibling is different in their own way, and you should like let that develop in them. So like if your first child is interested in painting or like more like calm, you don't expect your second child to be the same as well. That the second child might be energetic, so let that happen.
Okay. Brilliant advice. Well, that was our parenting class on raising siblings. We hope you parents learned from our discussion, and we hope you were taking notes because we think you need it.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Tomorrow's
It was
a
a pleasure.
test. Tomorrow's a test.
Tomorrow's the test, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.